Hello? I say hello there. Ah, that's much better. Hello, everyone. I'm nitroxy-argo-carbodioxy-neon. My friends, however, call me by my nickname, Air. I lift kites and spirits, fill sails and lungs, and generally make things livable on our little planet. On the other hand, Earth is made of, well, dirt. I don't know about you, but I tend to be at my best when I'm clean. I'm delighted to say, however, that clean air gained an ally and a champion 90 years ago, an astute and inventive engineer by the name of William M. Reed. Once upon a time, Bill Reed had a thriving automobile paint company in Louisville, Kentucky. Yet even though business was booming, Mr. Reed wasn't happy. He wasn't happy because there, settling on his company's freshly painted cars, was dust. Others simply shrugged and said, "Oh well, what can one do?" But Mr. Bill Reed was the sort of man who said, "What can I do?" And he saw a solution and an opportunity. He pictured an invention of pure genius: the air filter. His solution was as simple as it was revolutionary. Forcing air through steel wool coated in motor oil did the trick. And before Bill Reed knew it, he had created a new business. A company that soon became American Air Filter, the leader in its industry, known today as AAF International. Well, businesses were soon lining up to buy his air filters. And in those early days, a lot of those customers were automakers. One was Henry Ford, to whom Bill Reed personally pitched his invention.
So with that idea in mind, he borrowed money from a gentleman named Ben Robertson, who was a local man here, and he made more than one filter and took it to Detroit and showed it to Henry Ford. Mr. Ford liked it and gave him an order for 150. He'd only made 2, so he was at a somewhat of a disadvantage in having to make another 148.
That order from Henry Ford, and many others from many different industries, told Mr. Reed that he was onto something big, that there was potentially a huge market for his filters in homes and factories and hospitals and in every other place on Earth where people needed better air. Before long, the world was beating a path to Mr. Reed's door. I'm happy to say that when these new and different customers needed new and different solutions, American Air Filter met the challenge. The key to its success was the way AAF combined technical innovations and customer solutions, as experienced by John Norris, the fellow who headed Lennox International years ago, and an American Air Filter customer.
He was an engineer and somewhat of a genius, and he wanted to have a filter that could be put down there by the fan or the blower and not be in a frame. He wanted to put into a basket. So we manufactured media of a certain size, like 24 inches by 24 inches, and it went into this wraparound basket. And the purpose of that was they had more surface area to collect the dust and dirt than you would in a framed up filter.
This kind of can-do attitude was typical of Bill Reed and how he grew and expanded his company for the 30-plus years he ran things. By the way, it was very much his company. Just ask anybody who worked for him.
Mr. Reed approved, I suppose, everything because he was the president, the founder, and the owner of the company. So Mr. Nutting wanted me to go into the sales department. In order for me to go into the sales department, out of the engineering department, I need to be interviewed by Mr. Bill Reed. Mr. Reed started out by telling me he wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. He thought perhaps I'd be sweeping floors and do a good job when you sweep. And then he said, "That's it, you're hired." And I got up and we walked out, and I said to Mr. Nutting, "Are all his interviews that long?" And he said, "No, sometimes they're shorter. He just says you're fired." So he said, "You got out of that one."
Bill Reed's blunt, single-minded vision set the stage for continued growth. Each of his successors took Mr. Reed's vision to the next level, making AAF a diverse global leader responsible for breakthrough products and processes. Of course, along with the company's expansion and growth came growing complexities and more diverse customer needs. How fortunate for me and you that innovations and solutions have remained at the core of the company's success. That's especially true today. AAF International innovates and meets its customers' needs by way of its global resources as a member of the world's largest air conditioning company. No one can tell us the importance of that relationship better than Kevin Lynch.
AAF is part of Daikin Industries Limited. Daikin has some very positive and very strong goals for us that are very consistent with what we want to do with the business itself. Their goal is to have us become one of the next pillars in the organization. I like to say we are comfort and quality together, and that provides us the overall solution to any customer in the HVAC industry.
One of the things I like is what the company's global resources mean for the future.
And our global organization is now working towards being one AAF. And what I mean by that is that the organization has historically either been separated geographically or separated by business unit. All of those items are very important to us, but we have them now operating and thinking as one organization. How do we help the customer, regardless of what the technology is, what the source of that technology is, or who specifically might be servicing the customer? Our goal is to ensure that the customer's needs are met and that we provide a solution to them that satisfies them, and a solution from the perspective of product, innovation, system support, monitoring, and/or service.
If you ask me, Bill Reed would have liked the synergy and other benefits of one AAF. It not only makes AAF International stronger and more responsive, it's good for customers dealing with an increasingly competitive and challenging world economy. I'm already breathing easier.
We have many good things on the horizon for AAF. When I look at where I see us going in the future, we can discuss it in terms of geography, we can discuss this in terms of innovation, we can discuss this in terms of organizational requirements, but most importantly, we look at it from the perspective of our customers and the markets we serve. Our goal is to ensure that the customer has the solution they need to meet air quality standards.
For someone my age, 90 years doesn't seem that long ago. Nevertheless, as I look back over the history of AAF International, I do see a company vastly different from the one that my friend Bill Reed started in 1921. Today, I think you'll agree that the company is ready for the next 90 years, and that its future looks both clean and bright.